Hey guys, Hanover here. I'm the Mod.Hatter, and welcome to Skyrim mod Look&See. Today we have Inkwell Home by Laschiel, ported to the Xbox One, originally by MegaKurt. So if you like the mod, please remember to give them both support. I will provide a link to MegaKurt's original mod on Skyrim Nexus to make it easy. The Inkwell Home is located in Helgen Keep, which we'll head towards now. Helgen is already destroyed because I'm using the alternate start mod, which does seem to be compatible with Inkwell Home. We find ourselves in the interrogation room in Helgen Keep, where if you're using alternate start, you'll normally find a dead torturer. I always take his hood. One of the earliest ones you can find in the game. And there's also the Take Skull. Oh! Goodness, my. If you look in the cells where you normally find the Forgotten Mage, the one to the right of it will contain the Inkwell Home, which if you're careful you don't necessarily have to unlock the door to get to. The Inkwell Home itself is an item pushing the boundaries of logic and reason beyond the prudent. An unknown artificer created a tidy retreat inside a spare inkwell. I am inclined to use it like a potion, but I've never drank ink before. First time for everything. It's awful darker in here than I expected. I suppose I am inside of a tiny bottle. Well, this is just weird. Let's, yeah, that'll make it normal. Let's get some light on in here. Oh, that's better. Okay. It's almost like a normal house now. Contains everything that you could possibly want. Combination cooking pot and smelter. A tanning rack. Various swampy things growing around the interior. A workbench. An anvil, grindstone, a bookcase, lots of specific storage, an arcane enchanter, an alchemy lab, sneaky Nernroot, that's the best kind, and a book. Unintended consequences. Now, I would not normally read the contents of a book, leaving you to discover the little things on your own. But this book is exceptionally well written and longer than most, so for those that would rather listen than turn the pages, here you go. Loretta's 15th Sun's Dawn. Yesterday I returned home after finishing my initial training at the College of Winterhold. Strangely, the once familiar homestead feels alien and small. Perhaps it is from the near-constant study of the mysteries of alteration magic, concepts and theories that stretch the rational mind beyond the common limits of traditional Nord society. Or perhaps it's because I have simply grown bigger after 10 years. During the family feast held to celebrate my return, I think I heard, "My, how you've grown," or variations thereof from countless aunts, uncles, fourth cousins, third removed, or whatever they were. And then there are the rest of my family and their friends yelling, laughing, crying, boasting, or singing, a few even still on key. I find myself longing for the quiet of my small room in the Hall of Attainment, and escape the incessant noise and chaos. Sundas, 16th Sun's Dawn. This morning my thoughts are coming so fast I can barely record them. Last night I dreamt of a dark place that was the most idyllic study and laboratory imaginable. Strangely, I still remember the smell of parchment, leather, rustic food, and the tang of molten metal. But I also remember the quiet whisper of wind as though passing through a wide stone chimney. The shadowed walls curved upwards into the darkness as if inside a closed jar or this. Sundas, 2nd First Seed. 2 weeks have passed since I returned to the College of Winterhold, to the surprise and less than quiet dismay of my family. I know they are disappointed at the suddenness of my departure, but my dream cannot be ignored. The final piece of the dream came to me just as my pen was running dry and my eye lit upon the inkwell. I'm still slightly giddy about the whole concept of a portable research lab that can be held in the palm of one's hand. So many books have proven to be useless drivel or half-mad rants. I hope someone had similar dreams, for I quail at the thought of the magnitude of pure research that will be required if I have to start from the beginning. Loretta's 26th Rain's Hand. It exists. The formula lies in my notes in its glorious simplicity. The despair is lifted, and I can hope to see my dream much sooner than I had even expected. I should have guessed that a Dwemer artificer would have discovered the key, but that section of the library is woefully disorganized. I'm surprised more tomes haven't been lost. The remaining supplies I need are the final dozen soul gems and the dynamo core. I have written the matrix formula, but crossed it out. Turdus, 15th, 2nd Seed. My instructors constantly repeated over and over the need for consistency when dealing with alteration. Unintended consequences are always paid. For all its art and creativity, alteration is still bound by laws of nature, and if those laws are broken, the cost must be paid, unintended or not. By writing these words here, I hope to find some solace and perhaps penance from the failure of that last night. Although the soul gems and inkwells survived intact, I hope and pray the very foundation of the city was not critically weakened. And now I also need a new dynamo core. Sundas, 18th, Second seed. I have identified the cause of the failure, and the solution is both simple and difficult. By speeding up the formula, the energy matrix was unable to respond quickly enough to the massive forces, and it shifted, fracturing the basalt bedrock to unimaginable depths. If I keep to the original formula, the process will be weeks instead of days, but the energy flux will be easier to contain. I hope I have enough anti-sleep potions to stay awake. At least the tremors have stopped. Sundus, 29th mid-year. The last 3 weeks have become a fuzzy buzz of images, noises, and partial memories, and I think I am down to the last case of potions. The energy matrix is crackling with an eerie glow I've never seen before, but it is holding solid, and the final 3 anchoring enchantment soul gems are prepared to commit the dynamo core vectors. Tomorrow will be interesting. Tyrdes, first sun's height. The dream has become a reality. The Inkwell sits there quietly on the floor of the cavern, basking in the sterile glow of the mage light. Waiting for the residual arcane energies to bleed off the dynamo core was one of the hardest challenges of the entire endeavor. Still, the acute fear of a limb coming in contact with the fluctuating time aether became very real when an errant vortex absorbed a nearby bookcase. I shall have to consider the possibilities of the event after I can recover my sleep and strength. Loretus, 5th sun's height. My expectations are so much exceeded, I can barely record my findings coherently. The interior of the Inkwell is identical to the dream version I had just a few months ago. In a surprise turn of events, the dynamo core appears to contain enough residual energy harmonically connected with the energy matrix to be able to shift large items into the Inkwell. But I have also stumbled upon a flaw in the entire design. The remaining ink was never drained, and ruined my favorite pair of slippers the first time I explored the interior. Additionally, the books on the lowest shelf of the bookcase were completely ruined. I know I should have drained the ink from the container before beginning, but there was so much else to do. Strangely, the ink level does not appear to be lowering, although I have tried various means to soak up the liquid. Freydis, 12th Hearthfire. Much work has been done, and the Inkwell is slowly turning into a very comfortable study and laboratory, despite the treacherous floor. My years working for my uncle the mason and carpenter has proven to be much more useful than his teenage nephew ever imagined. Using those mundane skills, I have lined the stained interior with stone and wood and installed a number of discarded Dwemer storage containers. I was also able to grab a number of discarded furniture items for crafting. I am especially happy to find the enchanting table in that recently vacant house in Whiterun. Those are really hard to find, and this one was practically unused. The installation of the Dwemer lighting also proved to be much easier than expected. Those Dwemer really built things to last. Sundus, 14th Hearthfire. While I have been working on the comforts of the Inkwell interior, my mind has been worrying over the problem of the ink. Slowly it dawned on me that the bound energies keeping the small space in its time aether balance also prevent the ink level from changing. It has become infused into the local time aether laws. There is no way to remove the ink, or the Inkwell would be in risk of being destroyed. This new idea poses a lot to consider. Maundus, 15th Hearthfire. I have resolved the ink problem. It required the last traces of energy in the dynamo core, but the ink is now inert. It can no longer stain or soak into materials. Still, it does seem very strange to be walking around in liquid and not becoming wet. I am so tired. Loratus, 4th Frostfall. My friends have noted my recent exhaustion. I have become dangerously preoccupied with my secret project, and they have grown increasingly concerned. One of them has invited me to join their planned expedition to the Pale to study the flora and fauna of the region. After the months of labor, I must agree that I can use a change of scenery. Tertus, 6th Sun's Dusk. The Pale is some of the most desolate lands Skyrim has to offer. Such a dynamic contrast to my little Inkwell home. We have collected a large number of specimens and are eager to discuss them when we return to the college. The cold is extremely biting today, and even as the Nord in our party of 3, I am feeling the weather more than normal. On the horizon this evening, we see thick dark clouds, and we are still half a day from Dawn Star. Our supplies are low, and we were hoping to find more game than we have. I have plenty of food stored in my inkwell, but I am reluctant to allow its existence to become known. Tyrdes, 11th Sun's Dusk. The storm has raged for 5 days, and our party has to resort to seeking shelter in my inkwell. The others expressed incredulous disbelief that I could provide them a safe shelter after the second night of the blizzard. With the last of our food and firewood being exhausted, I carefully placed the inkwell in a stable snowdrift and popped in. Even now, my friends are a little wide-eyed in their countenance. The food should last at least another few days, and we are able to sleep in shifts while the one awake keeps the fire in the smelter stoked. The winds howl without cease. Midas, 12th Sun's Dusk. The expedition was a success, and we even survived with all our fingers and toes without frostbite. I was able to get my friends to swear to complete secrecy about the Inkwell upon the honor of their families and the fact that they owe me their very lives. As a thank you gesture, I have agreed to allow my Breton friend to set up a controlled environment for his botanical experiments. Most interesting was the samples of Nirnroot that we have taken from a secluded pond the morning before the blizzard. Loratus, 22nd Sun's Dusk. Why did I not consider the consequences of my folly? My blind drive to obtain that which should be unobtainable has reaped a most bitter of harvest. I wax melodramatic, but my horror must seek an outlet, or I will surely succumb to madness. My friends and I have returned to Winterhold, but there is no Winterhold to return to. All has crumbled into the sea of ghosts during the storm we thought we had survived without loss. Well, all save the college itself. Those fractures created by the first failed attempt at energizing the energy matrix weakened the very foundation of the city. I am murderer of hundreds, perhaps thousands. The Archmage Deneth says the faults were originally from the disaster of Vivek or the Red Mountain, but I know the truth. Can I live with that? Should I? Morndus, 24th Sun's Dusk. The dream has changed to a nightmare. Instead of a warm, comfortable shelter, the Inkwell is a vast ocean of midnight black, waves crashing together with the screams of those drowning echoing from wall to wall. The nightmare does not end when I scream myself awake, for it is my reality. Loretus, 29th, sun's dusk. I cannot sleep. Not here. Nowhere. Black waves are waiting. May these words be my last testament and warning. Unintended consequences are always paid. Well, that was intense. I suddenly feel like I've been in this inkwell for a really long time, and maybe I should find out how to leave. Maybe this is it. So, this is the Inkwell Home. Okay, so I think to leave, I am to pick it up, but before I do, so I will pick up this inkwell, and I'll put it in my pocket, but this inkwell to go in my pocket is also the inkwell that I am in. So, will I be in my pocket, or will I... Here goes nothing. Well, this is nerve-wracking. Oh, thank goodness. I'm back in the torture room. Everything's all right. Okay. Oh, and also, before you leave, he left no notes on the consequences of leaving Dwemer lighting on in your pocket while walking around Skyrim. But let's just use normal rules and go ahead and turn the lights off when we leave a room. And also, with this mod being compatible with alternate start, which largely affects Helgen, I really don't see another mod that it would not be compatible with unless it does alter Helgen itself or the interrogation room. It will not conflict with any house mods, town mods, landscape mods, or anything that alters the landscape, unless it's altering the landscape in your pocket. And of course, credit for the text read today goes to MegaKurt, the original author of the mod. If you'll follow the links to the Skyrim Nexus, you'll find that the mod has also been adapted to work with Enderall, with the text inside of the book being changed to fit the lore of that world, which I will definitely pick up when I get to Enderall. With that being said, this has been a very different episode than usual. If you liked all the extra talking, then let me know. If you just want to see the mod and want me to hush, then let me know that too. As always, likes and comments are appreciated. But otherwise, we'll see you soon.